A new competitor enters the handheld gaming market, aiming to go toe-to-toe with the very popular Steam Deck. Activision is sued for ageism. Brand new rumors are floating around about Xbox, their next developer direct, and a one-time console exclusive possibly coming to another platform. And Unity makes a huge deal with Walmart to sell you furniture? Let's get you caught up with the gaming news that broke over the weekend right now. Just a couple of quick nuggets here before we get started with our top story. Congrats to Sony and PlayStation. They cleaned up last night at the Creative Arts Emmys, different from the Primetime Emmys. The Last of Us TV adaptation, they won all kinds of awards last night, including Nick Offerman winning an award for Outstanding Guest Actor. Next, do you remember Logan Paul's NFT game CryptoZoo? Hopefully not, but if you are an unfortunate soul that got sucked into that NFT scam, know that refunds are finally coming. There are links in the description to both of those stories and how to get your refund in the description, along with links to all of our other stories. Now for our top story for today, there's a brand new competitor entering the handheld gaming market. Valve's Steam Deck took a big risk in 2022, ushering in the new wave of technology for handheld gaming PCs. And it wasn't until the middle of 2023 when their first real competitor, the Asus ROG Ally, would come out, and then later last year, I think in November, the Lenovo Legion Go would come out as their second competitor. And while all of those models have their pros and their cons, it's largely held in the gaming community that the Steam Deck is still the best value for your buck, especially since the Steam Deck OLED launched last year. And though Valve continues paving the way in this new category, a new competitor, MSI, has recently teased their own handheld gaming PC to come out hopefully sometime soon this year. Meet the Claw. Just always think about that from Liar Liar, the Claw. Tom Warren over at The Verge shares MSI's teased image and a few leaks that give us a good look at it, as well as a spec sheet on their new processor. The Claw will house the brand new Intel Meteor Lake chip, which is leading Intel's charge into their new ultra-mobile processor line. The Meteor Lake chip in the Claw will make use of Intel's new chiplet architecture. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Do you own a handheld? Do you think that this new handheld gaming PC market, just after 2 years, is mature enough to handle a fourth competitor at this point? I think it may be a little risky for MSI to kind of attach their horse, is that the right, hitch their horse to Intel's new processor architecture. Intel does not have a great track record of having good gaming processors. If it's a new architecture, maybe this is like their new initiative, who knows, but it's obvious that they partnered with MSI to bring this out. It could be impressive, might not be, we'll have to wait and see, but I do have to respect their bold approach for trying something new to try to kind of edge their way into this pretty competitive market at this point. Even though Steam Deck definitely is still the winner as far as market share goes, it's a new category in this market. There's only a few other competitors. It may have a chance with a bold move like this, kind of edge its way out in front. We'll see. As of now, no official launch date or specs are released for the MSI Claw, but be sure to stay tuned to the channel and we'll let you know when they come out. And speaking of Steam, they've just broken another record. Just yesterday, on January 7th, 33,675,229 concurrent users were online. The games with the most player counts that contributed towards this number were, of course, CSGO, Counter-Strike Go, Dota 2, PUBG, Apex Legends, and, of course, Baldur's Gate 3. You can check out Vicky Blake's article over on Eurogamer or steamdb.info for more details about this. This does break Steam's old record of just under 33.6 million that occurred last March. Were you a part of this record-breaking achievement? I know I was online over the weekend playing a little bit of Frostpunk. What were you playing this weekend? Let me know in the comments. In a shocking turn of events, Microsoft is going to have some more legal troubles on their hands after acquiring Activision last year. No one's surprised about that. And while Activision Blizzard King, they have a ton of great IP, some cutting-edge technology, as well as, Microsoft buying them is going to really upgrade their mobile profile for sure. Unfortunately, it comes with a lot of baggage from former leadership issues. News broke on Friday that a former Activision employee is suing Activision for age discrimination. Brendan Sinclair, the managing editor over at GamesIndustry.biz, brings us a story by way of the original report on Law 360. The former executive states that Bobby Kotick made ageist remarks at a leadership conference, saying, quote, "The problem is that there are too many old white guys." In addition to these remarks, the plaintiff also says he was passed over for a promotion, which he was recommended for, and a younger non-white employee got the job, who then became his boss and created a hostile work environment. If you're interested in this story, definitely check out Brendan's article. It goes into a lot more depth, but reading through it, it seems like a lot of he said, she said, and without any kind of documentation or recordings about what was actually said at the leadership conference or what was actually documented as far as why he didn't get the promotion or why someone else was passed over. It's gonna be hard to prove, and we may not even see it in court. They may settle, they may fight it, who knows? But I could, not that I'm a Bobby Kotick fan or an apologist at all, but I could definitely see myself saying something like, hey, the problem here is a bunch of old white guys, kind of being self-deprecating, trying to make a joke or something like that. I doubt there was any sincerity behind that, because there probably is a lot of old white guys at Activision that are great assets to the company and that they want there. Phil Spencer would probably consider himself an old white guy in the context of the gaming industry. So I don't know, take it with a grain of salt, but what do you think about this? Continuing on with some Xbox news, the next Developer Direct event could be closer than you think. Last year, Xbox kicked off the year with a very well-received Developer Direct that featured a lot of great games, some that didn't pull through so well, but some that did, including the shadow-dropped HiFi Rush. This was a very successful shadow drop. It gave HiFi Rush kind of a moment in the spotlight to shine, giving it definitely the boost it needed to see some really good sales this year. And even more players might be getting their hands on HiFi Rush really soon, but hold that thought. So with the success of last year's event in recent memory, the Xbox community is kind of wondering, okay, when's the next one going to be? Are we going to get another early 2024 Developer Direct? Well, we could be seeing Xbox delivering that as soon as January 14th. Mike Straw at Insider Gaming reports on some of the information that was published to Reddit. Reddit user Xantorn posted the following. First Xbox event of the year is going to be the week of the 14th. Can't speak on the shadow drop rumors, but the date has now been set in stone. Straw notes that Xantorn has a track record of accurately predicting these kind of events in the industry, and this story is also supported by some other rumors that came out last week, although they had some different dates on that. So it's all rumors, take it all with a grain of salt, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did see Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo all starting to kind of hype up their year, starting to get us excited about what they're going to be offering this year. And, the Developer Direct, I think for Xbox is a great way to do it. They showed out last year. They have a lot of great games that are prepped to come out this year, so they have only good things to show. I'm excited for them. Good luck to Xbox. What about you? Are you excited to see what's coming up in 2024? Or are you like me, you're still trying to get through a lot of the backlog of all the amazing games that came out in 2023? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so remember how I told you to hold that thought about HiFi Rush? Well, this is squarely in the rumor category, but there have been several rumors floating around about HiFi Rush potentially, maybe, could be, notice the very wishy-washy language that I'm using, might be coming to Nintendo Switch. Again, all rumors, all rumors. So this is interesting enough as rumors go, but I really didn't want to cover it here until I started seeing some more credible sources speak into it, not necessarily confirm it, but give some reasons as to why this might be credible. So for more info on this, I'm going to suggest you go over to Jez Corden's article at windowscentral.com. There are already several articles covering this, but Jez, I think, has a great perspective on it, kind of comes at it from a different angle, not just looking at the rumor itself, but looking at Microsoft's overall strategy and kind of speaking into what this could be as a part of that strategy, which I find interesting. So this all started with a podcaster, Nate the Hate, when he suggested a popular Xbox title could be coming to a competing platform very soon. Jez stated, quote, Nate has a good track record for accuracy in the past, which created a groundswell of speculation, end quote. So as commenters started to kind of speculate and contribute to this conversation online, one title started to kind of rise to the top, and that was HiFi Rush. All of this chatter also led to Phil Spencer trending on X.com, formerly Twitter, over the weekend, with competing viewpoints on statements Spencer has made in the last few years about Xbox exclusives. And after looking through all of the videos and all of the statements that I've kind of seen people pop up, what I'm kind of gathering from all of this, and you may have to read the story for some more context, but I don't think he's ever made any kind of statement that said Game Pass will ever be coming to Nintendo or PlayStation or whatever, but that Game Pass is squarely in Microsoft's house. It's a big part of their identity, but that doesn't necessarily mean that games that launch on Game Pass, or first-party games more specifically that launch on Game Pass, that doesn't mean that they will never come to other platforms. So I think there's just been a lot of kind of people twisting words and getting upset just because an exclusive is no longer an exclusive. Just because it launches as an exclusive doesn't mean it has to stay one. And Jez goes into this idea, this kind of strategy a little bit more. I think even kind of leaning to the point like, hey, they're trying to kind of seed in some interest in some of these new IPs that Xbox is developing. And so if they can make an exclusive IP that they have, take maybe, HiFi Rush 1, release it out on Nintendo, and then a year later, they have some fans with that IP, release HiFi Rush 2 only exclusively on Xbox. That's going to draw in more Nintendo fans, more Nintendo players into the Game Pass ecosystem, whether it's through PC Game Pass or Xbox Game Pass, or they're playing on their Samsung TV or whatever. So I think that makes sense business-wise. I think it's a good move. I think it's creative, and I think it's good for the consumer, right? Good for Xbox, good for the consumer, good for Nintendo, good for everybody. And so I think I would be really interested to see how this plays out, if it is actually HiFi Rush, if it's a different game, if there's no credibility to it at all. I don't know. Does exclusivity for consoles matter to you as a gamer? Would you feel less excited about your console if you knew that the exclusives you were getting at launch would eventually be released to another console a year down the line? Unity, the real-time 3D game engine that holds about 30% of the game development market share, they were in headlines a lot last year for some really bonehead decisions they made that were very anti-developer, very anti-creator, but they're in the news again. Because of some of the policies that Unity tried to enact last year, they lost a lot of credibility and a lot of trust with their developer communities. Many developers even stated that they had lost complete trust in Unity and were taking their projects in a different direction with other engines. They were completely reworking their projects because of how Unity treated them. And so Unity lost a lot of money last year, but they may have found a way to get some of those earnings back. And what better way to make money than by partnering with the king of commerce? No, not Amazon, Walmart. Walmart published a press release, and it states, Unity developers now have the ability to integrate Walmart's commerce APIs directly into their games and apps. This enables creators to sell physical items in real-time 3D experiences across 20+ platforms, unlocking new ways to connect customers' virtual and physical lifestyles and enabling new monetization channels in games and experiences made with Unity. They go on to give a few examples of how this has been working and maybe how it could work in the future, specifically citing 3 apps that it's already been live in. These apps are Houseflip, Avakin Life, and Zepeto. I'll have some promotional videos to give you an idea of how this is going to work in game and like what this actually means. But really any game that deals with like wardrobes or furniture or decorations or anything like that that's kind of easy to you to change a lot of or redesign or anything like that, you can start expecting these apps or these games to start integrating this technology pretty quickly. So the way I'm understanding this, think of it as like an in-game version of affiliate marketing. So you know about affiliate marketing, you see lots of YouTubers using it, lots of bloggers using it. It may be a blogger talking about how they think Tide gets their clothes the cleanest. And they'll have a big long article about the story of Tide, and all in there they'll have a link to Tide Fresh Clean, Tide Meadow Lake, Tide, clean water, extra oxygen, whatever it is that they want to sell. They'll have a link in there, you click it, you go to Amazon or you go to Walmart or whatever, and whoever buys that, you, the blogger, or you, the creator, you get a small commission, a small, tiny fraction of commission from that sale. But with these bloggers who have millions of views and YouTube videos that have hundreds of thousands and millions of views, it starts to add up. And even for smaller creators like myself, this can be something, affiliate marketing can be something to help kind of stabilize some of the income that you receive as a part-time or full-time content creator. But essentially, this would work like an in-game affiliate marketing. You are decorating your house in House Flip and you see some string lights and you say, hey, these would be cool in the basement. And I want to make like a little cabana style thing in the basement. And you put them there in your game, and then you see a little ad pop up, or you see the option in game to buy these for your basement at home in real life. And then you can either decide to buy that or not. And if you do buy it, most likely, I don't know this for sure, but most likely that game or that app or that developer gets a small percentage of that profit from that sale. The cynic in me rolled my eyes when I heard this for the first time. I mean, does Walmart really need to be like making more money off of us, advertising or selling Tide or string lights or furniture or futons in our games? But then I try to think about it from the creator's perspective. Yes, again, thinking about it from a small content creator's perspective, I can see how this would be beneficial to the smaller development teams who they're not looking for a huge payday. They're just looking for something to kind of stabilize, something else, some other kind of revenue generating function in their game to make it feasible for them to do what they love. And I think that's great. And just like affiliate marketing with blogging and YouTube, there are going to be people that abuse this, that use it too liberally, that just kind of cake it on, and it's gonna feel icky and it's gonna feel gross, and we already have that in the gaming industry. So this really isn't anything new here, but maybe the bad won't outweigh the good. I don't know. Anytime there's an option to make money or there's an opportunity to make money, someone will always go too far. And so you can almost bet on that. But maybe for the vast majority of us who are just looking for these free-to-play games or whatever, it would be a cool way for the developers to make some extra money, and maybe it won't be intrusive into our gaming experiences. What do you think? Do you think this kind of thing should only be in the free-to-play model? Should we have advertisements or the ability to buy real-world products in our games? Well, hey, you're all caught up with the gaming news from the weekend. Thank you for watching. I hope you're well. I hope you're doing okay. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.